feminism hates men. 3 basic questions about gender equality answered. So what does it say in the low bar? Oh, this is Wanted Adventure. 229,000 subscribers here. Nice propaganda. Yeah, this is good stuff. What are the biggest myths about gender equality people are still confused about today? When people say they want to smash the patriarchy, does that mean they want to kick out all men and put women in charge? What does it actually mean when people say we live in a patriarchy? Do we actually live in a patriarchy? Well, let's define some terminology. Patriarchy, in their minds, is equivalent to capitalism. Now, I'm not some sage that just came off the burning bush mountain with the 10 Commandments. We know these things. This has always been about socialism. They hate the West because they hate capitalism. Feminists have always been useful idiots when it comes to this. Smash the patriarchy, blah, 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 blah. Well, they may have meant it a few years ago. What they mean today is to remove capitalism. It is crystal clear. You look around, it's like, what are you talking about? You're oppressed in Western countries, in the United States, Canada, Australia, England, Europe. You're oppressed. How? What rights do you not have under the law that men have? What do they always complain about? Well, there are only 3 women CEOs in the Classic 500 in Japan. Yeah, that would be capitalism. Equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome. When they say we just want equality, gender equality, and all this other bullshit, they mean equality of outcome. And again, I'm preaching to the choir. I get it. I hope you understand this is straight out of the book, Marxism. They've taken, this is cultural Marxism, right? They've taken the bourgeoisie, the evil capitalist factory owners. They've replaced those people with white, Christian, straight men. When they say the patriarchy, what they mean is capitalism. They don't like it. They want equal outcome no matter what. Everybody should have the same chance. And you'll hear that in this video. Well, maybe not, because I'm just going to do one guy, because I tried this once. It took 25 minutes. So a little bit too much, but we're just going to get Vincent's opinion. They mean equal outcome. They mean they want to smash capitalism. I hope y'all understand that by now. Let's jump in and see what Vincent has to say.
What is a patriarchy? What does it mean when people say that we live in a patriarchy?
So for me, a patriarchy describes a system that has been built by men and that is built to usually profit men more than it does women.
Do you think there is a reason he used the word profit? Now you might say, okay, hamster, where's your tinfoil hat? Where's your Alex Jones brand tinfoil hat? There is a reason why they use certain phrases. Now, when you go in here, unpaid labor, people, is straight out of Marx. Right out of his book. We have nothing to lose but our chains, out of the book. They're not reinventing words here or inventing words or coming up with unique phrases for their marketing department. It's out of a book from 1848. That's all you got to do is read the book. It's exactly what's going on here with the cultural Marxism, Frankfurt School, and all that other stuff. So let's hear what Vincent has to say next.
As long as we live in a patriarchy...
Capitalism. As long as we live in a capitalist society, economic system. Yes, Vincent.
I think gender equality will be really hard, maybe impossible to achieve. So
again, when he says gender equality, he means equality of outcome, not equal opportunity. We have equal opportunity, thank goodness, due to those evil capitalists. Not everyone is going to get to the same place in a merit-based capitalist society. But in a socialist economic system, we'll all get to the same place. Equal misery. Go on, Vincent.
So gender equality will first require ending the patriarchy and establishing a system that is fair to all genders.
You see, if we just got rid of capitalism and brought in the utopia of socialism and had equal outcome, everyone would just be fine. Do you see my point? This is no longer about men having or women having equal rights and men and blah, 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 blah. But this is about destroying the foundation of the economic system of most Western countries. And don't give me this Bernie Sanders bro bullshit about the Nordic countries. Oh, they're Democrat socialists. No, they are not. They are free market capitalist societies with a very high tax rate and a very generous welfare system. You see, when these mind-numb robots hear, well, socialism, it's great, they're thinking free shit. Some evil capitalist over there is going to give me free college education and free birth control and free abortions, free apartments, free cars. I want it. I want it now. What they don't understand, it's never on this planet worked that way. Socialism will work for a while. A few years, things are looking better, blah, 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 but then it goes to fucking hell. It has happened every single time. We have history to look back upon it. And somebody in one of my comments said, well, fire departments are socialist. We're talking about command and control economies, where the government tells you what to make, how many boots, here's a 5-year plan. Oh, we need more women in STEM. These women over here, you're going into STEM, but I don't want to. Tough shit. If you give women a free choice, the only way you're going to get an identically equal result, you get 50% female engineers, 50% male engineers, and all this other shit, is if you force them to. And what is it about feminists who always say we don't want the government telling us what to do with our bodies?
I mean, I'm sure you will get different answers depending on who you ask, but my definition or my understanding of smashing the patriarchy would not be to put women in charge, but to simply eliminate all the
white men.
I guess the bias towards men.
And yeah, we should eliminate the bias toward men, especially in family courts and, various other things. But let's get back to talking about your socialist utopia, Vincent.
Simply establish a system in which neither women nor men are in charge, but in which both genders, or really all genders, have all opportunities, all access, and all possibilities to really be who they want to be.
Even if they don't want to be that, though, Vincent. We need to have 50% women in Congress, 50% females in STEM, 50% females in the sewer and garbage collection. Yes, we stumble upon it once again, don't we? You see, Vincent, women do not want equality in any of that. They just want the goodies. They want the CEO jobs. They want to be in government. They want the power. But this other stuff that men dominate in, no. Vincent, there was something called the Equal Rights Amendment, which is being debated again in the United States. You might want to look that up and look up something called the Hayden Rider. The Hayden Rider would be part of the Equal Rights Amendment, which would ensure that all the special goodies that feminism tells us women did not have back in the 50s, that they would still have them. Well, if they didn't have them in the first place, Vincent, why would there have to be a special amendment for them to keep them? Contemplate that, sir.
I think there's a lot of myths about gender equality. One of them is that we have already achieved gender equality.
No, we have, though. Vincent, we have equal rights under the law, equal opportunities under the law, and many, many, many laws put in place to make sure that women, minorities, other formerly oppressed people get a fair shot so they're not discriminated against. And that's the way it should be. Nobody should be discriminated against based on superficial things like your sex or your color or your religion or all that shit. We have that. Vincent, what we don't have and what you want is equal outcome. You want socialism because you believe that would be so much better than capitalism. Well, it would be with respect to equal outcome because you have the government telling you what to do with your life. How hard is this to understand for these people? My God, the brainwashing must have been good.
If you look, for example, at the global gender gap or indexes like that.
Yeah, the Global Economic Forum Gender Gap Report. Vincent, you probably don't know this, but I'm just going to make it brief for you and everybody else who hasn't seen this. I'll try to find the link below. Anything that favors women, say there's more women in college or they have better health outcome, whatever it is. So no matter if women are twice as better or have more of whatever, it is parity, regardless of how women exceed men in certain areas. It's still counted as parity. So the gender gap report wouldn't be quite so exciting if we took into account men are actually on the short end of the stick in some areas. That's not counted, Vincent. Did you know that? Of course you didn't. And by the way, in case you didn't know, living in Burundi is better for women than living in the United States. Hey, that's what the geniuses said.
They show that there's not a single country on this planet in which women and men are equal.
Bullshit. What about Norway? What about the Scandinavian countries where it's a paradise because they're democratic socialists? Are you telling me the Nordic countries are not gender equal, Vincent? Honestly, are you trying to piss down my leg and tell me it's raining? Please continue.
A lot of countries have laws that in theory make women and men equal, but in practice it's a very different story.
A lot of countries like the United States have laws in effect that favor women over men. So in your vision, that would not be equal. Oh, no. If it favors women, it's fine.
So I think we first need to recognize that there is a problem before we can solve it.
Point at the problem. Just name one thing, one right, Vincent, that men under law in the United States or in Germany, where you might be, or in Europe somewhere, that women do not have. Women are prevented from doing something under the law that men are allowed to do. Except, minor stupid shit like, well, men can walk around with their shirts off and women can't. Let's talk about real things. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, justice, fair pay, access to employment, access to college, access to an apartment, access to buy a car, access to credit. Tell me about one of those things that matters, Vincent. Tell me which one of those or anything that's important. Men have the right, women do not. And when you can't find one of those, I can find a couple off the top of my head that women enjoy under the law that men do not. But go on.
It's still very prevalent for men to earn more money than women. And
you know why that is? Because women are attracted to dudes who make money. This is not rocket science, Vincent.
This is not because women want to earn less money, but often equal work is paid very differently for.
I should get the goat out. You are so fucking wrong, Vincent. I can't do this anymore, man. I can't. How many freaking millions of times do we have to explain? The wage gap as defined by feminists is an average of every occupation that men have, average of every female occupation that women have. It's averaged. And since men tend to choose higher paying professions and put more hours in than women, they earn more money. Vincent, for fuck's sake.
For women and for men. And this then often leads to women staying at home and taking care of the kids.
Vincent, despite your programming, you certainly must understand that a stay-at-home mother is a privileged position. For that means the man or whatever partner goes out makes enough money so she doesn't have to work outside the home if she doesn't choose to. You understand that is a privilege.
Because the guy earns more, or the guy is not aware yet that he is also responsible to take care of the home and kids. And
Vincent, he brings home the money. You didn't go on to the unpaid labor aspect of it, but I'm sure if given enough time, you would get out your little book of Marx and start talking about that too. Wouldn't ya?
These kind of things. And it's not necessarily bad per se if the guy goes out to work and the woman stays at home, but it has to be based on an honest conversation and an honest agreement between both sides. And there should not be this kind of standard formula that we always just follow this one pattern just because that's the way we have done things in the past.
Now think about this, guys. What is the norm in today's world? What's the normal thing to do? Mom and dad both work, kids in daycare, kind of the standard young millennial sort of thing, right? That is the norm. Vincent wants us to believe that is the exception. That women are somehow forced to stay home with the kids if they do not choose to. The biggest part of this is they don't consider that a valid choice. Feminism about women making decisions for their lives, but not that one. Any other one, yeah, you go girl. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom and take care of my kids because I know some nut job in Australia said it should be illegal for women to stay at home with their kids. Oh my God. Clown world, people. I'll put the link below. Feel free to share your comments on this video. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.